Yeah. So, and it also too, I know the coming up, kind of switching gears, but I think May 1st is the deadline for players to get in the transfer portal, I believe, in order to have
Absolutely.
immediate eligibility. So you're
Yes.
starting to see a little bit of that, like more guys kind of popping up. I think Ohio State had a safety, I think Hooker, I think is his last name. I think one of the
Yeah.
younger
Marcus
brother.
Hooker, brother
Yep.
of Malik.
Yep, he's in the portal. Baylor had a quarterback who was vying for the starting quarterback. I think Bannon or Bohannon, I
Jerry
think is his name.
Bohannon.
Yep.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting. Like we talked about, I think last week or the week before on the stream of that next wave, and is this going to be something that Michigan kind of gets into? But coaches kind of making that decision and making that call, giving I specifically with Bohannon, giving him that opportunity to go and find a better place. I mean, this was the exact timing of Joe Burrow's transfer, was kind of that May transfer in the summer type of time frame. So I think it's important, and I think for Michigan, if can you find a defensive end or a wide receiver who can really change the game. Maybe not a Jamison Williams, but can you just get a guy who can come in and give you 600-700 yards in the season, or a defender who can come in and just be solid. But I think though there will be, I think, some really quality players coming up in the next couple of days getting in the portal.
We had this conversation on our Ohio State show today, and I would think the same thing would hold true for Michigan. Yeah, Ohio State had something like 4 guys hit the transfer portal this week, and actually one of them already found a home at USC. Bryson Shaw, who was 3rd on the team in tackles at Ohio State, and this can show you where, talking about statistics, they can be misleading. He really, really did not perform well last year. To his defense, was put in a situation where he wasn't supposed to be in that place. Had only played 1 game at Ohio State his first 2 years. They had Josh Proctor, their best safety, who played kind of that quarterback safety position where he got everything set, got hurt in camp, out for the season, and they just put Bryson Shaw in there. The stats looked good, but to watch him play, just overmatched, not ready, not prepared, and they get everybody healthy this year, and suddenly he goes from 3rd on the team in tackles to, you're buried on the depth chart. You're not going to see the field. So boom, transfer portal. He's at USC. I have my USC guy on the other day, and he's like, Bryson Shaw, one of the top tacklers at Ohio State. And I went, whoa, hang on just a second. Your USC people better know what they're getting here. I don't want to discredit the guy. He was on the field. He made the tackles, but you're not getting like an all Pac-12 performer here. This is not what you're getting. So be aware of that.
It can be deceiving.
To go along with the Ohio State analogy, yeah, about 4 guys hit the portal. And I said to our Ohio State guys, I said, I got to think that they just rid themselves, I should say it in a nicer way, of 4 players who just aren't going to get time. You got to think that anything they gain in the transfer portal isn't going to be, unwanted players just to fill out a roster. They're going to get targeted players to fill. Okay, we need more depth on the offensive line. We need another, safety that can cover, that they're going to be going for specific needs. So I got to think that they're getting value in return, and Michigan's going to be in the same boat. They don't need players just to fill out a roster. What they gain in the transfer portal, I would think, is going to be of value.
Yeah. Well, and I think with Ohio State and Michigan as well, that they can be selective. I mean, they're, like you mentioned, they don't need to fill out a roster. They can handpick a guy. I mean, you've got the ability to pick and choose who you do and don't want to answer the phone to, essentially. I mean, I saw on a different podcast, the topic of Nick Saban and the tampering and things like that. And the guy was saying, and I can't remember, have you had Josh Pate on before? I can't remember.
We've had him on 3 or 4 times. Yep.
Yeah. But he had mentioned that he had, he's pretty dialed in, but he had heard that, some of the guys, specifically the Louisville receiver, they were saying some of these guys are calling Alabama, and getting in the transfer portal, calling them versus, a back and forth type of thing. And obviously Alabama can be selective. I would say the same about Georgia, Ohio State, even Michigan, same thing. But same thing. I think Michigan's got the ability to be selective in who they essentially answer the phone to or who they make a call to. So if it's a guy who doesn't, match exactly what you want to do, then you've got your pick of the litter.